Welcome. This is David Bowles' Human Meme. Today's topic: understanding without knowing. For thou hast been as one in suffering all that suffers nothing, a man that fortune's buffets and rewards has taken with equal thanks. And blessed are those whose blood and judgment are so well commeddled that they are not a pipe for fortune's finger to sound what stop she pleases. Give me that man that is not passion's slave, and I will wear him in my heart's core, I in my heart of heart, as I do thee. Hamlet, Act 3, Scene 2. Well, Shakespeare knew we were doomed. We loved, we died, we deceived. We killed each other along the way. And that was the circle of life that began and ended and then began again. And Shakespeare also knew we were magnificent human beings, capable of great loves and hatreds, suffering the burdens of surviving this, the human condition. And at the core of every Shakespearean work is self-knowing and a universal loathing, even when we lie to others about ourselves. All of that is the doom of us. And yet we are not surprised by this failure. We understand our faults, but we still wallow in imperfection because we don't know how to get out of it. And this conundrum is also true of the scope of our human knowledge. We know so many things, and yet we remain as a whole unwashed and ignorant. We understand the problem at hand, but we do not know the solution. We have no capacity for resolution. We are condemned, the want of knowing, and besieged by the inability to move forward into solution. Global warming, climate change, Mother Nature is killing us. Oh, we know the problem, all of these sorts of problems. And we know what we need to do to solve the problem. But we remain thinking the solution is beyond us, behind us, because we lie to each other, and we fib to ourselves, because that's the easier thing to do. We believe it is better to play dumb than to actually be smart and mature and resolve the issues. Why are we this way? That's what Shakespeare always asked in every play. Why are we this way? Are we, as a species, afraid of success? Or are we just content to land where we are, standing where we find ourselves, without any impetus to take the next step forward? And there we are, stuck in the tar pit, understanding without knowing, and that is a fascinating concept to explore. We understand the problem, but we don't yet know precisely how to solve it. We could know the answer to the problem, but we are being blocked. Blocked by content, conceit, and the inanimation of the histrionic mind. We need invention, but innovation takes time and delinquency. Invention is pure imagination, but innovation is taking something familiar and making it work in a whole new way. Unlocking the power of knowing arrives through experimentation and education. We cannot know these things by guessing. We may take up a hint or two, or our trained gut instinct may lead us blindly forward. But in the end, we need some sort of framework to use in order to set the standard of knowing. Education gives us the substructure. We can learn to separate fact from fiction and the truth from a lie. And we can put them all together to form a sort of skeleton of a solution. We can stare out a window and wonder against our learning, and begin the slow wager into knowledge. And while wisdom is important, wisdom is not the center of knowing. Knowing is solution, implementation, and risk. Because once you know the answer, there is no excuse or choice from putting the problem in motion and into solving. And my human meme friend, there is no greater punishment upon the human body and the emotional soul than being condemned to understanding without knowing. We live our lives quietly, in despair, and dangerously, and on the edge. And if we think for 1 second we are safe and secure and untouchable, we know down deep we are not safe, and we have never been safe. We are always quite aware that we are not quite measuring up. We are not quite getting things done. And so we are stopped by our own indifference to our own belated spirit. Now, to fight this understanding after effect, we must allow vulnerability. And we must be okay with being wrong. When ego gets in the way of inspiration and problem solving, then we quickly become stuck in negotiation. If we understand but do not know, but our neighbor understands and our neighbor does know, then we need to ask for help or inspiration in order to find a way to rise above our own shortcomings. Today, we may need to borrow a clue from a friend, but tomorrow, that grace may be returned with our own cadre of knowledge that has yet to be discovered by those around us. And that is the beauty of being alive. Sharing experience, finding knowledge, wandering into education, finding our way together into a future where we are finally able to understand and to know And there is no better legacy to leave behind and share than that firm fact that we needed to know, and that we understood and we accepted that need, and that, in the end, we did know. Thank you for listening. Be a human meme.